Welcome to Random Revenge. Please tell us where you're watching from. Now, it's time to dive into today's story. Farah was always a builder. Not of houses or monuments, but of something more subtle: trust. Stability. A life, measured out in mortgage payments and anniversary dinners at the same Italian restaurant where she proposed. She spent 17 years building her marriage to Leo Vance, believing her steady hands and reliable heart were a sufficient foundation for eternity. She should have spotted the cracks sooner. The advertising agency she'd poured her heart and soul into for 2 decades had laid off staff 6 months ago, and Ava's position as lead creative director became just a clause in the severance package. Leo smiled when she told him, a smile that didn't reach his eyes, and said all the right words about fresh starts and new opportunities. A week later, he filed for divorce. The process was surgically precise. Leo's lover, a shark named Mark Sloan, with teeth too white and a reputation for destroying women, went through Ava's finances like a cancer. The house Ava had bought with her grandmother's inheritance went to Leo. Her savings account was emptied to pay for his emotional distress. His car, his furniture, even the damned espresso machine Ava had saved for months to buy. "Your Honor," Sloan said, adjusting his Rolex watch with theatrical precision, "my client sacrificed his career ambitions to support Ms. Farah's. He deserves compensation for those lost years." The lie was so brazen that Ava almost laughed in court. Leo quit his office job 3 months after their wedding, citing burnout. He spent the next 17 years perfecting his golf swing at a country club Ava couldn't afford to join. The judge, a gray-haired man who seemed to have heard every story twice, awarded Leo 70% of their combined assets. Ava walked out of the courthouse with her clothes, her grandmother's watch, and a checking account with $247 in it. That night, Leo called her, not to apologize, not to express even a shred of remorse, but to mock her. "You'll die alone and penniless," he sneered. "That's what happens to women who bore me. Ava, you were always so adequate. Maya says I should have left you years ago." Maya. The name hit her like a punch in the stomach. Maya Cruz, her former business partner, the woman who had been her maid of honor, who had eaten at their table every Sunday for 5 years, the woman who voted to eliminate Ava's position when the firm was downsizing. Ava hung up without answering. What could she say? He'd already taken everything that mattered. Almost everything. She still had her plasma. The donation center was tucked between a pawn shop and a check-cashing place on the east side. A neighborhood where despair wears a familiar face. Ava had passed it hundreds of times, never imagining herself walking through those doors. The waiting room smelled of industrial cleaner and defeat. A young father cradled a crying baby. An old woman, her hands shaking, painfully and slowly filled out paperwork. A man Ava's age stared into space, his eyes sunken. First time the receptionist asked. Her name tag read Kara. She had kind eyes that had seen too much. "Kinda obvious. You're wearing a blazer." She slid a clipboard toward her. "Fill this out. We're paying $40 for your first donation." 40美元. Ava used to spend more on wine. She couldn't even tell the difference between. Now, that was 2 weeks' worth of groceries. If she shopped frugally, she carried the clipboard to a plastic chair, wobbly on uneven legs, and began filling in the blanks about her broken life. The nurse who called her name was young, with a professional cheerfulness that seemed forced. "I'm Emily," she said, leading Ava to a chair that looked like it belonged in a dentist's nightmare. "Ever donated blood before?" "Never." "No problem. I'll need to do a quick health check. Take your vitals and test your blood. The whole process will take about 90 minutes. She wrapped the blood pressure cuff around Ava's arm. "So, what brings you in today?" "Rent," Ava said simply. Emily's professional smile softened. "Becoming Hinuan. I get that." She drew 3 vials of blood, with honed efficiency. "Okay. I'll take these to the lab. Be back in 5 minutes." She didn't return. 15 minutes passed. Then 20. Ava glanced at her watch. Watching other donors cycle through the chairs. Tubes, connecting them like a dystopian conveyor belt. Extracting human fluid for profit. When Emily returned, her face had changed. The color had drained from her cheeks, and her hands shook slightly as she clutched Ava's folder. "Ma'am," she said, her voice carefully controlled. "I need you to stay right here. Don't move. I need to call someone." "What? What happened?" Ice flooded Ava's veins. "Cancer. HIV. Something deadly. They found floating in her blood. Nothing's wrong. Just... please wait." She disappeared into a back office. Through the window, Ava saw her on the phone, gesturing tensely. 2 other employees crowded around her, looking at something on a computer screen. Then at Ava. Then back at the screen. 20 minutes later, 3 people in suits burst through the doors of the donation center as if they owned the place. They moved with a purpose, radiating authority and expensive cologne. The leader was about 60 years old, silver-haired and imposing, wearing a charcoal gray suit that probably cost more than Ava's last paycheck. His eyes found Ava and locked on with laser-like precision. He walked right up to Ava's chair, stopped, and just stared. His face flickered with emotion, shock, disbelief, and something almost like relief. "After 32 years, he whispered, just loud enough for Ava to hear, "we finally found you." The man's name was Albert Reed, CEO of Reed Pharmaceuticals. The other 2 were lawyers, quickly introduced and immediately forgotten. They led Ava to a back office. One Ava never knew existed, all dark wood and leather, completely at odds with the fluorescent desperation of the waiting room. "Ms. Farah," Albert said, sitting across from her with the gravity of someone about to change a life. "My apologies for the dramatic entrance, but what we found in your blood..." He paused, choosing his words carefully. "It's nothing short of a miracle." "I have cancer," Ava stated, her voice flat. "What, no?" Albert actually laughed. "Miss Farah, you may be the healthiest woman in this city. What you have is what we've been looking for since 1993. A genetic mutation. So rare that, according to our models, only 3 to 5 people on Earth might have it." He slid the folder across the table. Inside were graphs, diagrams, genetic sequences that looked like abstract art. 32 years ago, my son was diagnosed with Herman syndrome. Do you know it? Ava shook her head. "I don't think so. It's so rare, most doctors never see a case. It's a degenerative, neurological disorder. It destroyed his nervous system, cell by cell. He was 8 years old." Albert's voice wavered, just slightly. "We tried everything. Every treatment. Every experimental therapy. He passed away in 1995, 2 months before his 11th birthday." "I'm so sorry," Ava said, and she meant it. "After his death, I dedicated my company to finding a cure. We discovered the disease is caused by a deficiency of a specific protein. The human body can't produce it. Except, in the rarest of cases, people with a mutation in the HRNX4 gene." Albert tapped the folder. "People like you. I don't understand. Your plasma, Ms. Farah, contains antibodies that can not only treat Herman syndrome, but potentially cure it. There are 847 diagnosed cases in the United States alone, thousands worldwide. Children are dying because their bodies can't make what yours does naturally." One of the lawyers leaned forward. "Ms. Farah, Reed Pharmaceuticals is prepared to offer you a contract for exclusive rights to your plasma donations. We're talking 2 donations a week, full medical coverage, and compensation of $15 million." Albert cut in. "A $5 million signing bonus. $10 million paid out over 5 years. Plus, royalties from any treatment developed from your plasma. The number was so large it didn't make sense. That morning, Ava was counting pennies, wondering if she could afford both electricity and food. Why she managed to squeak out, "Because you have something money can't buy. Because 847 families are praying for what's in your veins." Albert's expression hardened. "And because I will not let what happened to my son happen to anyone else if I can help it." Ava looked at the contract. The lawyer slid in front of her. The numbers were real. This was real. I need to think about this," she said. Albert nodded slowly. "I understand. Take 24 hours. But Miss Farah, please understand. Every day we delay, a child is at risk." They gave her a business card and a check for $40 for her time. Ava left the center in a daze. The contrast was so surreal, she wondered if she'd imagined the whole thing. Her phone rang as she got to her car, a 15-year-old Honda that Leo's lawyer had deemed not worth the fight. It was Chloe Kim, her only real friend left, who'd gone through her own nasty divorce. "Ava, where are you? I've been calling all morning." "Donating plasma," Ava said. The absurdity of it all hit her at once. Jesus. "Ava, listen. I heard something. You need to know this. I just ran into Ben Vance at the grocery store." Ben. Leo's brother. The one who'd been sympathetic during the divorce. Who'd told Ava he thought Leo was being unreasonable. He was drunk. Chloe continued. And he started bragging. "Ava, Leo and Maya have been planning this for over a year. They wanted you out of the firm specifically, so they could oust you and get your shares. Maya got promoted to CEO. They're selling Whitmore Media next month for $16 million. Leo gets half. They've been partners all along." Ava's hand tightened on the phone. "He destroyed me. For $8 million. There's more." Ben said Leo was deliberately dragging out the divorce proceedings to drain your legal funds. To make you desperate enough to accept his terms. He called it breaking you. His words? The sun was setting, painting the parking lot an angry red. Ava looked at the donation center, then at Albert Reed's business card in her hand. $15 million. 847 dying children. And the man who laughed as he destroyed her? "Chloe," Ava said, her voice quiet. "I need your help. And I need you to not tell a single soul what I'm about to tell you. Can you do that?" "Of course." "Ava. Anything." "Good. Because I'm about to be very, very rich. And Leo is about to learn the true cost of underestimating an adequate woman." Ava signed the contract at 9:00 a.m. the next morning in Albert Reed's downtown office. The glass tower looked down on the city, like a benevolent god. Her new lawyer watched as the wire transfer landed in her account with a digital efficiency that felt unreal. Just like that, Farah was worth $5 million. With $10 million more on the way. "Welcome to Reed Pharmaceuticals," Albert said, shaking her hand. "We'll start comprehensive medical testing tomorrow. I want our top specialists monitoring you." "I appreciate that, Mr. Reed. But I have one condition." Albert's eyebrows rose. "Name it." "I want my involvement kept completely confidential. No press releases. No announcements. As far as the world knows. Farah is still flat broke." "May I ask why?" Ava smiled, for the first time in months. "Let's just call it a social experiment." She left the building and drove straight to Chloe's apartment. A modest, 2-bedroom, her friend had lived in since her own divorce. Chloe was waiting with coffee and the tactical focus that had made her a brilliant forensic accountant. "Okay," Chloe said, spreading papers across her dining table. "I did some digging. Maya Cruz isn't just taking your old job, she's trying to erase you. She's been telling everyone at the firm you were the dead weight. That you hadn't had a good idea in years. Creative revisionism. Nice. It's worse than that. I got my hands on the firm's financials. Don't ask how. That Whitmore Media deal, it's entirely dependent on the company showing growth. Maya is falsifying the books. She's attributing your projects to herself. The Kaufman account, the one that won 3 awards, that's hers now. According to the records. The Rivertech rebranding that brought in $2 million, also hers. Ava studied the documents. Months of her work. Her sleepless nights. Her creative soul. All stamped with Maya Cruz's name. She also fed information to Mark Sloan, Leo's lawyer. Chloe added, every asset you tried to protect, every financial move you made. Maya told them everything. They were partners from the very beginning. How long have they been sleeping together? My guess, 2 years. Maybe more. Chloe. Pull me more coffee. This is what I don't get. Maya has a great salary. Leo got most of my money. Why go to all this trouble? Why rub it in? Because Leo doesn't just want things, Ava said. Thinking back, he wants to win. She remembered how he played golf. Not for sport, but to dominate. How he'd end friendships over perceived slights. How he kept score. On everything. Leaving me with nothing. That's the ultimate victory for him. So, what's the plan? Ava pulled out her phone, opened her new bank app, and showed Chloe the balance. 5美元. Ling ling ling. 247. Chloe's coffee cup stopped halfway to her mouth. What? The hell. Ava discovered her blood, which contained a rare genetic mutation, was worth $15 million to a pharma company, a massive windfall following Leo's attempt to ruin her. He just left me with the most valuable blood on the planet, she told her friend. Chloe. Her new goal wasn't a lawsuit, it was to dismantle their empire. Piece by piece. To maintain a facade of defeat, while working. Ava publicly remained bankrupt. She quickly began using her newfound capital to systematically destroy Leo and Maya's foundations. Starting with their vulnerabilities. Chloe identified them. Leo had a hidden gambling problem. Losing thousands at poker. Maya was a spender. Burning through cash. Making the $16 million sale of Whitmore Media a desperate necessity. Ava's goal. Make sure that sale never happens, and let them destroy themselves. Ava's strategy was built on patience and capital. She started a shell company, Norwood Ventures, and immediately used it to buy Leo's $63. Zero pollice, casino debt at a discount. She was now his creditor. She followed up by hiring a private investigator, Marty, to document their every move. Quickly discovering they were spending money they didn't have. Celebrating prematurely. Marty also found a crucial asset, Leo's bitter and broke brother, Ben Vance. Ava met with Ben and offered him a simple deal, $5,000 a month to be her inside source. She appealed to his resentment over being the overlooked brother, and in exchange for saving his house from foreclosure, Ben agreed to spy on Leo. While the trap was set, Ava underwent medical testing. Her plasma proved vital for a groundbreaking new drug that could treat a rare disease, saving the lives of many patients, including children. The money was life-changing. The impact was life-saving. The attacks escalated. Ben's intel was invaluable. Ava used a second shell company, Redwood Holdings, to make an all-cash offer on Leo's dream condo, snapping it up right before he could, causing Leo to explode in rage and blame Maya. The final blow was the Whitmore Media deal. Chloe and a hacker helped Ava secure damning evidence of Maya's long-term financial fraud at her firm. Ava anonymously tipped off Whitmore's due diligence team, leading to a full investigation that killed the $16 million deal. As the deal collapsed, Norwood Ventures served Leo with a lawsuit for the casino debt in public. Leo became paranoid, realizing someone was orchestrating his downfall but having no idea who. Ava continued to manipulate them. She used a fake social media profile to trap Maya, whose indiscreet messages and photos were sent to a furious Leo. He retaliated by vandalizing her Lexus at the country club. Desperate for money, Maya then embezzled $50,000 from the company. Ava sent the evidence to the board. Maya was fired and criminally charged. implicating Leo as an accomplice. Leo, now facing total ruin, met Ava to beg for cash. She refused, giving him a final, cold reminder of his cruelty. Now you know how it feels. Months later, Ava had not only found justice, but built a new life. The treatment derived from her plasma saved countless lives. She earned millions, founded a charity, and found peace. Ben confirmed the final tally. Leo received 5 years in prison, and Maya got 8. The revenge was complete.